Hello and thanks for watching Go Teachers Maths. I'm continuing to go through the NXL Higher Tier Paper 2 from 2019, and this is a question about cumulative frequency. So what we're given is a grouped frequency table, and this is about the time it takes people to arrive to work. So we're told that in this table we've got 5 people in the first group here, and that they took between 0 and 20 minutes to get to work. The next group here is saying that they took either more than 20 minutes or less than or equal to 40 minutes. So that's 30 people in that group. And 20 people took between 40 and 60 minutes to get to work. So the cumulative frequency is basically the running total of the frequencies. So we can see that by the time we got up to 20, we only got 5 people. So 5 I can write in there because that's exactly the same as the first group here. But then the next group for the cumulative frequency is saying how many people took between 0 and 40 minutes to get to work. Well, that is now the number that was in not just the first group, but the second group. And we add them two together and we get 35. We can then get the number who took between 0 and 60 minutes by adding all these 3 groups up. So the 0 to 20, the 20 to 40, and the 40 to 60. So add these 3 up, and that will give us 55. And it's a little bit quicker just to actually add this 20 onto the 35. And so we get 35 plus 20 gives us the 55. We then add on the 15 for the next group. So 55 plus 15 gives us 70. We can then add on the 8 for the next group. So 70 plus the 8 gives us 78. And we then add on the 2 finally, and that gives us 80. And a good check that we've done it correctly is that 80, the number in the final row, should actually be equal to the total number of people who were in the table in the first place. So 80 people were asked. So then what we've got to do, we've completed the cumulative frequency table, is we've got to plot it on the cumulative frequency graph. So we can see that we've got the minutes across the bottom, and we've actually got the cumulative frequency is the vertical axis here. And the important thing is that we plot the cumulative frequency against the upper value. So we don't go for, lots of people make the mistake of plotting against the middle value of this group, but for cumulative frequency, we always plot against the upper value. So that 5 is, here's 5 on the horizontal, on the vertical axis, and we actually plot it against the 20, which is the upper value there. We then go to the next one, so that's 40, which is here, and we plot it against 35. So we can read up there until we get to 35, and there we are. We then continue, so we go to 60, and so 60, the upper boundary, we're plotting against the 55 here. So 60 versus 55, it's going to take us to there. Then we do 80 and 70, so 80 and 70, 100 and 78, there's 100, and there's 78, so that's going to be there. And finally 120 and 80, so 120 and 80, which is there. And there is one other value that we can plot, because obviously there were no people who could have took less than 0 seconds. So we know that it actually goes through 0, the origin of the graph. And this is a fairly standard sort of shape for cumulative frequency. It starts off slowly and then goes up quickly and then levels off again. What we need to do is try and draw a nice smooth curve through all these points, which can be fairly difficult to do, but there we go. That's as best a smoothly drawn curve as you can through there. So that's my cumulative frequency graph done now. And then we usually get asked a further point in these questions. So on part C, we're being asked to use our graph to find an estimate for the percentage of those workers who take more than 90 minutes to get to work. So what we have to do is we have to go to 90 minutes on the graph here, and then we'd read up to the graph, and then where it cuts our curve, we then read across, and that gives us a number. So I would say that's 75 there. And because we're interested in the number who take more than 90 minutes, we're actually interested in the figure that's above 75, so between 80, which is the maximum, and so we're interested in this bit here. So between 75 and 80, we've actually got 5 workers there. So 5 workers took more than 90 minutes. But we need to work that out as a percentage. So that would be 5 out of 80 times 100. So we could just do that on the calculator. So we do, if we do that, what we get is